episode of the Lead In special edition. We're looking into the last 16 games for the UEFA Championships 2020. Is it 2020 or 2021? I think they call it 2020.
2020, but you were yeah.
All right, yeah. So I'm Tinashe and he is Chris. Back again. It's gonna be the main event of the show. Why are you laughing? So yeah, we're gonna be looking at the two big games of this round. I guess, and I think you all agree with me that it's going to be the match between Belgium and Portugal and England, Germany. We're gonna look at those games in depth and maybe just go over the few other games, just not in too much detail. So let's start with Belgium, Portugal. What do you think is going to happen, Chris? As a Portugal fan.
As a Portugal fan,
yeah.
Obviously I want the team to win, You're Ronaldo, big fan of Ronaldo ever since he was at United, ever since I was a kid, always watched, seeing the lad play and everything. But I think come to this game, I guess I'll give my verdict at the end.
Yes.
And maybe for now we can just, I can just, give some views on, how we think the managers are gonna trick their teams, how they're gonna move around everything. So yeah.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, we have to look at the build-up, give people the build-up of the game, what we think is going to happen and why we think it's going to happen. For me, particularly, my concern is the back four for Portugal.
Yeah.
But if I say the back four, I think it's sort of scapegoating the people in the defense. I think Portugal's defense as a whole unit, that is what is concerning to me, because they've already conceded 6 goals.
6 goals, yes.
And that's less than they conceded last time when they won the championship. So they've been leaking goals, and when you play a team like Belgium, they're really attacking. I don't know how Fernando Santos can fix that, what he can do. Is there any personal changes you think he can do, or a system change? Do they need to change their formation? Or
I think if we give the first 2 games that they played, they stuck to that 4-2-3-1 formation, Carvalho and Danilo,
yes,
holding there in the midfield. But for me, that was not very inventive enough for them going forward. So now that changed. Now, they brought in João Moutinho,
class player.
And a class player, of course. We know Wolves, in as much as Wolves are a middle table team, him himself, you can see that, okay, the years of road, but, the quality is still, the class is permanent as always. Then, yeah, changing into Renato Sanchez and, Moutinho holding the midfield there it was quite a change for me, and it really helped them move forward. Then, I don't know why, but Paulinho came in, and completely changed the game against France. He came in, he controlled everything, nutmeg on Pogba. I still remember that one. Loving that, driving runs in midfield. And also, I saw Oliveira also came on, right, at some point. Then he did the job against Juventus for Porto.
Yes.
And for me, I think then the midfield, that's their best bet to win. That's their best bet. But I think formation change come the weekend, I think 4-2-3-1 is not their best bet. I think 4-3-3 with João Moutinho and surely Renato Sanchez after his 2 performances when he came off the bench and when he started brilliant. He came off 86 minutes. He was superb for me. Superb, yeah.
So yeah, I guess I kind of agree with you. I think their best bet is to go with a 4-3-3 in this game. I don't know why he's been hiding that Paulinho guy. He looked okay, maybe it's just 45 minutes, but he looked incredible.
Very, very incredible. He was very calm on the ball, he didn't rush anything. Yes. But for me, I'm not gonna criticize, but again, Bruno Fernandes. In the last episode we're talking about effort. Then you bring him on and there are 20 minutes left. I expect him to shine, to be like everyone else was running, was marking. Portugal for a moment, they were chasing the ball for a bit. France, when France have the ball, you're gonna need to hold back a bit.
And fight.
Fight,
yeah.
But for Bruno Fernandes to then come into that game and even give a potential penalty, that was ruled out, but on another day.
I think he was very lucky. He was very lucky.
He was a lucky lad. So I think for me, Portugal, honestly speaking, right now, they're 90% from winning the Euros. But if all their players can step up, like the midfield stepped up for me, they did pretty well. Ronaldo stepped up, 2 penalties, well done. Bruno Fernandes, he is, if we talk about the high-rated players in Portugal, you cannot leave out his name. You cannot leave out his name. But right now, it's now become very easy. Like Bruno Fernandes, there are no stats to his name in this tournament.
Yeah.
But Paulinho came and everyone else is not speaking. Who's this guy? Why is Bruno starting when we have this guy? That type of thing. So
maybe is it a case? Because now when you bring up Bruno, this is I think a special question, because when you look at his talent-wise, he's a guy, he can change games. So is it a matter of, is he not working well with the system that Portugal play? Is he not maybe suited to that system? Is that why we're not seeing the best qualities of Bruno Fernandes, whilst we see a lot of other players come in and try to do a job and they do it quite well?
For me, I'll just maybe take it back to club level. It would be more of that thing of, let's say, why doesn't Pogba play, well for United, but for France is doing well? Then right now, irony is both of them are from United.
Yeah.
Then Bruno Fernandes for United is doing, his numbers are very superb. 1 player of the month, I don't know, countless times, right? But then come to Portugal. I mean, during the qualifiers, he was out and about, but in this tournament, he's completely off. So maybe is it because Pogba at United is given the role to just sit deep, help them out from deep and spray the balls for them? Then Bruno is the one who has the ability to roam, and then maybe now it's an opposite change. Come to national teams, Pogba is now given the freedom, because I mean Kante can do the holding and everything. Yes. The job. Pogba is not allowed to roam, yes. But Bruno maybe at Portugal, because I see when they defend, everyone else needs to defend.
Yes.
At United, he does chase back sometimes, but only if you want to, because I mean Fred, McTominay, or whoever is already playing in that position.
Yes.
But at Portugal, everyone needs to come back behind the ball. So, but that's not an excuse for me. That's not an excuse. I just think he hasn't found the gel within Portugal for me. Yeah.
So let's start from the back. Goalkeeper, back four, we're not expecting any changes.
That's
even though I don't know, Nelson Semedo towards the end of the France game came off. It's something, I don't know if he's gonna be fit. Yeah, but if he's fit, you're not gonna change anything from that.
For me, I'll just go with Cancelo.
Cancelo, they said, I heard pretty recently that he's now out of the squad, some illness problems and everything. So Nelson Semedo and Dallo are the 2 right backs basically that Portugal have.
Yeah, exactly. And Dallo, I mean, the few times he came off the bench at Milan, didn't really have a good consistent season. Yes. But the few times that he did manage to play, I think he did quite well.
He shows that he's got talent. Maybe it's just maturity to get the consistency.
Everything.
I get you. Exactly. All right, so the midfield basically is where we're saying there's gonna be maybe a lot to think about.
A lot, yeah, very much.
So let's make it easier for you. You have Fernando Santos for the next 30 seconds. Who's going to be playing the 3 in midfield? What are you choosing?
That midfield 3, for me, I wanna Pereira definitely holds that place. Because if I just look at the player, I mean, they have similar styles, but a bit more pace like Pereira does, come the chasing, come the closing down. He's a bit more
dynamic,
aggressive, so yeah, I'll play him there. Then obviously we saw he slotted more into that centre back position with the centre backs. Moutinho then also within that central area, but he was a bit of a Roma, there on the 6, so that was okay for me. Then of course Renato Sanchez, I expect him box to box, yeah. So that would be my 8, my 6, yeah.
All right. Then come the forward lines. Cristiano Ronaldo has been in terrific form.
Yeah.
He's 5 goals already. I think he's got now 14 goals at Euros. That's the best ever that ever happened. He's still going. You know how hungry he is for success. I expect him to be leading the line, but his supporting cast, maybe there can be a few questions asked here and there. Diogo Jota and Bernardo Silva. Does he really have to stick with them or what?
What I would say is, I think Jota, he has been, you know, your not so top player and not your least player. He has been giving Portugal, okay, he has given Portugal enough for them to be where they are right now. Unlike Bruno didn't do anything, you know. But as for Jota, you know, I think that assist, you know, when Ronaldo scored, and also just causing problems. I mean, you know, Jota even for Liverpool, very unconventional, you know, doesn't really have a skill, but he can turn, you know, he can get in the box, he can get into a position. So for that front three, I think they're gonna go with it. They're really gonna go with it. But they're in the midfield, I think that's where they're gonna win the game. Because just to change focus, if we then look at Belgium, we need to play you know, at least I'm saying we as a Portugal fan, but
yeah,
Portugal needs to play more of we need to match, you know, we need to match the energies. If KDB is gonna play at this top game, Renato Sanchez and let's say John Moutinho need to be at that base, because KDB one man, he can take over that whole midfield, right? We know. So we need they need workhorses there in the midfield. They need to have Renato Sanchez there for the box to box. Yeah.
So I think that's basically covering Portugal. We have to look at their opponents now. Belgium. You've already spoken about KDB. That's where I want to hit home first, because there've been a bit of fitness concerns. Yes, he's come on a few games, really produced, of course, because you know he's magnificent. Then, of course, also his partner in crime, Hazard, is also, you know, he's been always injured at Real Madrid. So I don't know, is Roberto Martinez going to risk just playing them, because this is too much of a big game? He just has to play them. You know, if say, let's say Hazard says, you know, I can give you 90 minutes today. I know I'm not the fittest guy in the world, but I can give you 90 minutes. Is he going to have to play him because it's a big game?
Okay, I would go for tournament football mentality. In as much as it is risky, you know, the Euros, at the end of the game, you can't say but, or we should have, or there's
no chance to correct that mistake.
There's no room to correct the mistake. It's not like a league. So come match day, of course, with the coaches and everything, they have to, you know, hit hard, you know, critical thinking, you know, fitness, you know, with the physios and everything. But if I was the coach for them, I would definitely put in all the big guns. Tell them the best that they can give at that time will be the best, you know, for the team, you know, for everyone within the structure, for us to move forward in the tournament. Then probably, I mean, the job is never done, you know. Even if it's 2-0 and it's 70 minutes and you think you're struggling, you can come off and Portugal can recover the game, you know, and everything. Not that I want them to recover, but facts can go like that. So, but for me, yeah, I would definitely start him, and or maybe bring him off the bench, because when he came off the bench against was it Denmark?
Denmark, yes.
Yeah, he played extremely well for me. But yeah, I guess Martinez will show us what he has in the locker.
Yeah, but so basically they've always played 4-3-3 with Roberto Martinez, 3-4-3 with Roberto Martinez. De Bruyne sometimes is played as one of the deeper midfielders. Do you think he's going to risk that versus a team as good as Portugal, where maybe they can be exposed defensively, or he's gonna take maybe two defensive midfielders, play Witsel with maybe Yuri Tielemans, then play De Bruyne as part of the front three with Hazard and Lukaku? What would you do? Wow, yeah, that's basically.
I have a feeling De Bruyne will probably have to do that Renato Sanchez job, because if he's gonna just bomb forward and give them options going forward, if they do lose the ball, he definitely does need to recover. So I would not play the best cam in the world in a deep position in a tournament game. No. I would definitely not do that. I'll give Tielemans and Witsel the role. They'll fight for us. They midfield, and Tielemans as well. I trust him to do the passing at the back. I mean, for Leicester, he did it quite well.
Quite talented
lad. So come tournament football now. I'm going with all guns blazing. De Bruyne plays cam, and just like the way, if you remember the way he broke Japan in that 3-2 counter attack win in the World Cup.
I remember. Yeah.
Those killer passes, even against Brazil, the way he was defending hard for the team, but the time we need to get forward, he needs to break the lines. He's the main man to break the lines for Portugal.
So basically, the goalkeeper, the defense, there's not going to be too many changes. I think Courtois has got that position set.
He does.
The wing backs, Thomas Meunier. Do you like him that much, or you think they have to play someone else? I don't know.
No. He's gonna play. Plus, I would look at people like, people with that frame. Your Klosterman, your Meunier, your Pavard. Those are wing backs where in your team you need them. They never do anything significant.
He's not the fastest.
He's not the slowest, but in terms of the team, Meunier, at some point, isn't the one who gave him the assist?
Yeah,
exactly, for that counter attack.
Yeah.
You see, so that means also, if he can catch up with the counter attack with KDB is at feet is getting the ball, then maybe for me, Meunier will start. Yeah.
So I think basically that's the predicted lineup for Belgium. They're not going to change too much. We also have to look at, when we're just putting the two teams together now. I think the other legs or the other hairs, I think maybe in terms of just attacking quality, in terms of this, I can't say Portugal like experience, but they seem to be a team in transition now. A lot of young guys are now getting into the team, and Belgium are now like looking at maybe they're about to fall off the cliff, they're about to go into decline. They've got a lot of the older guys are still starting the golden generation, whatever they call them, and but they seem to lack what Portugal had in 2016, that big game mentality. That's where I want to get to know what you think about Portugal's chances, because I still think deep down in there, even though they have these youngsters, they still have that big game mentality. And can Belgium tackle that? Can Belgium overcome that sort of big game mentality that Portugal have to win when it matters most? Because officially Belgium are very talented, but they haven't won trophies because they don't win when it matters most.
I think the odds for this game, many people, will go with a prediction for, of course, for Belgium, to get it. They've looked the team in form. They had a very good group stage. Lukaku is within the goals. The camp looks happy. Then on the other hand, look at Portugal. A few stresses there and there within their group stage. It wasn't really the most relaxing of group stages for them. But if we then just match the two teams and we just look at the qualities and everything, let's say maybe position by position, Rui Patricio produces a world-class save, that has them in the tournament right now. I think if anything, we can put it down to that, because that was the last big action of the game. There was that. Then Courtois as well, very quite good season with Madrid. He made a couple clean sheets there and there. Defensively, if we look at it, they look quite matched. Diaz, a new centre back coming in.
He's a beast. He's a beast.
A beast. So on the day, for me, it's gonna be who can match their quality to their performances. Can De Bruyne produce that City, that Champions League quality where you're scoring goals, week in, week out, left foot, right foot. Can Lukaku, what he did for Inter, can he score the goals, can he get in position, can he bully Diaz? That would be the main thing for me.
That's a key for the game, yeah.
Can he pin Diaz, can he score goals? Can Meunier bomb up and down the field? Carrasco, is he gonna be able to take on players 1v1, and beating players like the way they always play? Can they? Tillemans, can he play that killer pass? He likes to play killer passes in between the lines. Can they do that effectively? Then I look at Portugal. Ronaldo clears the ball on a 6-yard line in his own box. Is he going to have that? He's getting quite old, but he's defying.
I think he's got the determination to do it.
He's defying the fitness,
Yes.
Will he be able to run up and down the pitch like he did? Then I saw during Germany, there have been some pieces of frustration, then he's having a bit of because I remember the other time I actually saw Diaz plays a long ball, he loses the ball, right? But then the reaction back to Diaz, there's no more of okay, well done, the pass was a bit heavy, but it was the right idea. He's more of, bashing him, Diaz, that type of thing. If you have a big game player who's gonna do that to the young, it's for me, I don't think it's gonna work. So just that, can he bring up all his experience? Can he pass it on to the youngsters so that they can lift the Euros again like they did in 2016 when he had a knee injury?
I get you. So the last question before we take a break. Let's give our predictions. I'm going for 3-2 to Belgium. I'm sorry, I know you like Portugal, but I just think this is Belgium. Say 3-2 to Belgium.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna go with the inverse of that. I'm gonna go for 3-2 for Portugal. I guess maybe positions are maybe within the same line because it's fine margins. It's pretty much
the small details.
It's gonna be small details. Can Ronaldo score that knuckle? Can De Bruyne play that key pass?
Or can, by some mysterious voodoo, I don't know, can Portugal just give Mouni and Hazard and Torgan Hazard as much space as they were giving Horsens and Kimmich? That might be fatal.
For me, actually, no. Before we take a break, that's actually a point we missed, Yeah. Portugal should be very wary of what happened against Germany because I think Belgium playing with fullbacks, they're gonna want to exploit that. They definitely. I don't think there's any way they will not know that when Germany played Portugal, Germany exploited. Gosens had a field day against Portugal, and that would be another thing. Can Ranto maybe do that job of maybe when they don't have the ball, maybe try to cover that wing, but as we saw, it was quite difficult against Germany. So I think that'll be another decision to just make. But yeah,
key tactical battle for the game.
I'll stick with Portugal. I mean, it's my team. I can't let them down. I'll support them to the end.
Okay, great. So we're gonna be taking a break. So I guess for Portugal, it's fool me once, shame on me, fool me twice. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Second segment of the Lead In special Euro. Welcome back to segment 2 of the special edition.
Alright. That doesn't mean about the light. I now sorry.
Oh, I know just straight. Oh, urangara kutora nika engo kasiri.
Arism frame.
Return my brightest. Rato boom.
True.
Rakata kosa. Sikapanda to invest in a new ring light.
Yeah.
Alright. Welcome back to segment 2 of the special edition of the Lead In. We're looking at the Euro 2020 last 16 games. Now the second big game, Germany and England. Football is coming home.
England.
Football is coming home. I'm telling you, Chris, football is coming home.
I hope they cheat you like they did in 2010.
That's like my worst memory because that goal was supposed to be a Frank Lampard goal.
2010.
That's my worst moment.
I like Neuer's reaction. Picked up the ball, acted as if nothing happened,
then just got on with the game.
Kept on playing.
He didn't even give the ref a chance or a moment to doubt himself. He just played on.
So do you think now that Vieira is there, they will have a chance?
it's going to work in our favor because we do deserve the good luck at some point versus Germany.
First of all, those tactics against Germany, they will lose.
Okay, let's get serious now. I'll try to be as unbiased as possible. Yeah. Of course, okay, let's start with my team, England. What's going to happen now? My biggest question before we play this game is I know the Czech Republic game was serious because we wanted to get to be top of the group so that we keep the advantage of playing at Wembley. But, you know, we had already qualified. So to me, it was kind of serious, but not serious at the moment. At the same time, we brought in Harry Maguire. What's going to be, is it even going to be a selection headache for Gareth Southgate, or it's obvious that he's going to bring in Maguire for the Germany game, or it's going to stick with Tyrone Mings, who I thought did well for himself when he got the chance to play. He wasn't very bad. Definitely. So what's going to happen there?
No. For me, you know, I have two selection criteria. Would you go for someone who's, you know, vast experience, plays for a bigger team, you know? Obviously, the challenge and the weight at United is a bit heavier than it is at Aston Villa. But at the same time, we know Grealish is also at Aston Villa, but, you know, he's putting in performances. Mings did well, you know, when he did get his chance. But I highly rate you go with Maguire.
You go with Maguire.
You go Maguire.
Fair enough, because I think maybe in terms of overall, when you look at everything, the ability, the experience, decision making, and even maybe leadership here and there, you need leadership in a back four. I think Harry Maguire is the best centre back that England have. You know, Stones might have something to say about that, but I think Harry Maguire is the guy.
Yeah.
And the fullbacks, you know, with England, I think that's the problem. There's always sort of so many questions regarding each position. Who would you be picking for the fullbacks? Considering that you're going to also be going against that 4-3-3 from Germany, where Horsens and Joshua Kimmich are going to be bombing up, staying very, very wide so that they stretch your back four.
If I'm gonna, I mean, Southgate has been getting criticism, I think, you know, everywhere we've been seeing it, and the media is ranting about that. There needs to be some form of consistency in the way that he, you know, picks his fullbacks or whatever. Because for me, I would just look at maybe performances that the players had. Maguire had a fairly good season with United. You finished second, but I mean, at the level that we want to play at, it's not really the best. Shaw was very good as well for United. You know, he added some dynamism in his game after the injury against PSV. You know, if you roll back the years, when he came back, you know, he was a bit bigger, you know, gained a bit of weight. Of course, with injury, you know, he didn't play for a good, I think, what was it, like 2 years or something, you know, came back, had recovered. His game looked a bit slow, you know, he looked a bit reserved, but this season, he just let it out, you know, he played his game. I'll never forget the one against City, you know, bombing up the field, you know, scoring goals. So for me, I would go for the players who had a world-class season, you know. And for me...
So definitely you're selecting Luke Shaw as your left back?
Sure, yeah, sure.
Right.
Definitely. Then maybe if I just move forward, Trippier had a fantastic season with Atletico Madrid. These are people who have won some form of title at a team, or let's say their performances over a period of time
contributed greatly to
the winning. So those are people who need to play. We look at Kevin Phillips. He played well for Leeds. You know, PLC I think trusted him a lot with their CDM position. Was he playing CDM?
Yes, for Leeds. He was an CDM.
He came here and he showed his class and assist. The second game, he just kept it simple. He did the same job. Now the headache starts. You know, from that back, okay, goalie, you're gonna go
Pickford.
Yeah. Now the headache starts. Do I put someone next to Phillips, or do I allow to
have two central midfielders who are gonna be attacking? But I have to say, Chris, because that's where the situation sort of begins with England. There have been rumors in the past few days that maybe it's going to go to a 4-3-3. Maybe listen to what you said in the previous video where you said you need to have two guys from midfield supporting Kane. But the downside of that, the rumored people who are going to be there, they're saying it might be Declan Rice as the central defensive midfielder in the center, and the two number 8-10s who are going to be attacking might be Phillips and Henderson. That's where the problem is. Are you doing it right when you're not playing maybe a Phil Foden in that central position to support Kane a lot, or Mason Mount is not going to be available and Ben Chilwell because I don't know, whatever, they were in contact with Gilmore and he got COVID, so they're ruled out. So I think basically he's looking down the same route you said he must look down, where it should be a 4-3-3. But I think he's going to try to be too conservative. As we know, Gareth Southgate is a very defensive coach. But I don't know if you agree with what is rumored to be doing and what you think he should do.
I think I would just maybe have my lineup from the get-go. Pickford and go, Trippier right back, Stones right centre back, Maguire left centre back, Luke Shaw left back, Rice, okay, yes, rightly so, CDM starts, Phillips. Then I need a Foden there, because if Foden plays there in the midfield, right, creativity is gonna increase and everything. Then just like what he did for City, in as much as City do play with wingers, he was bombing up onto the wing. You know, he was remember the Iniesta days. He definitely rode that back for City, right? I think maybe Pep probably said, you see, when I was coaching Iniesta, that Barca, just do this exact same thing, you know, for me.
But so, now I have a quick question for you, because when you said Pep and Foden, you put them in the same sentence, I have to then look at an article that I read about 2 days ago. It was your guy Wayne Rooney. He said that maybe Foden is not playing as well for England as he plays for Manchester City, because he's used to being coached by Pep. Now he's being coached by a guy like Gareth Southgate. Maybe the tactics are not as high quality, maybe they're not as good as what he gets at Manchester City. Is that perhaps maybe a reason or a factor in why maybe we haven't seen the best of Phil Foden?
I was looking at what was it, a documentary? Every time you, let's say, go to another team, right, then you have formation change and everything, your quality should not drop because tactics have changed in whichever role that you're supposed to play. Sadly, here the tactics are not really the best, right? But even within those tactics, let's not question how good a player is playing just because of the tactics that are employed, maybe in that team. But it does take a toll. But for me, I just expect, you know, Phil Foden to just, okay, now if he is now being coached by, let's say, Southgate, the chances of him playing the midfield.
The way you're saying it, you're making it seem now if he's being coached by a guy like Gareth Southgate, you think he's a lesser man.
No, he's not. No. He's not a lesser man. But what I'm just saying is probably that freedom, you know, because if
not as good a coach as Pep, of course. That's what you're saying.
Because let's look at the chances of England winning if they put a good Phillips and Foden there at 10. Phillips is not going to give you your skills, your passes in between the lines or whatever, but he's just going to do the job. You know, just like Kante, in as much as he was playing defensively for Chelsea, he looked like someone was playing Cam, you know, because he was winning the ball,
a lot of running,
high up the pitch, winning the ball. So Phillips can do that job there in the middle of the pitch, in the middle third, right? Phillips can do that. Then Foden gets into 10. Support with Kane. Phillips can arrive late. Then for me on the wing, they have enough options on the wing. Why play Phil Foden there? You know, for me, that's my opinion. Play Foden in the midfield. Sancho, or maybe if he likes the doctor, Rashford can play, you know, on the wing. Sterling, of course, we know he's gonna start. He already has 2 goals in the tournament.
Top goal scorer for England.
They will trust the fact that he can get more goals for the team. Or even though sometimes he's losing the ball quite a lot of times, you know.
He's not like, I think you can tell by watching the games, he's not in his best form. We've seen him play way better than
prime Sterling, you know, prime Sterling. So you will go for that then up top. We know, in as much as
he's been terrible.
He's not the he's been terrible. He's been terrible. Yeah. So I think for me that'll be my lineup, you know. So but for me, maybe a Sancho. Here's my my best bet, England, right? If I sometimes watch the way they play, you know, during training, I mean, training doesn't really determine a lot of things, but if you see certain individuals enjoy themselves when they play with each other during training, then you need to do the same. Foden and Sancho, I think the other time they were on the same team, you know, just you can see people who like each other when you see them, you know, people who play together, people who want to win together. You know, they score a goal, they're celebrating as if they won the Euros, but it's just
training, they're having fun.
It's just training, they're having fun. If you have a Foden who can finish a ball, left foot, right foot, you know, silky, you know, he's got flair. If it was FIFA, it would be a technical dribbler, you know, if a technical dribbler in your team who can, you know, squeeze through people, you know, Germany, that back line, they can easily expose them. You know, Rudiger might be won the Champions League, it's fine, but we know that sometimes he gets a bit rash.
He's reckless as ass. Reckless as ass. Okay, so I think basically the question for England is just going to be the tactics.
The tactics, yeah.
But do you trust Southgate to go through the group phase playing passive, defensive, boring football, to then just change it when he plays Germany, where I think we might actually be more scared to concede? Is he going to change, or is he not going to change?
I don't think it's going to change.
So
that's what I think. My prediction
is based on that.
Is my prediction. No. My prediction is the way I want England to play.
Yeah.
Because if you look at that set of players, right, and you look at England we should be talking about England. But right now, if you hear the predictions and everything, England is not part of that team. Even Ian Wright was complaining about this. He was shocked that Foden came off 1-2. How are we playing such average football? And I guess for me, I think we were speaking about it the other day. Is it a managerial problem that England has generated?
And I said that also.
You have always had stars in your team. I mean, the other time you went with Gerrard, Lampard, and Owen, Ashley Cole, David Beckham. You know, you went with the best free kick taker, best long range takers. Owen, one of the best wingers, strikers. You know, United, Liverpool.
And basically, I think we were the Belgium of those days.
It was the cream. You know, it was the cream of everything, but nothing really sufficed. And honestly speaking, for this generation, I wouldn't want it to be like that. You know, I would want, at least, let's say if we take a team like Hungary, right? We in as much as we know that, okay, maybe England, they will have, maybe against an Italy, or maybe a very big team, or let's say like let's say Germany, you know, it's equally a big team. If you're not gonna come there with your A game, with your best players, with your cream, with everything you got, all guns blazing, it's not gonna work. Hungary, they did not change a single thing. They did not change their tactics. Believe in everything that they do and everything, and that definitely worked for them. In as much as they're out, they'll, if you're a football fan, you always remember that they gave that group a tough time. There is no day any team played Hungary, and they exited the group without 2 points.
2 points, yeah.
2 draws, and
from France and Germany.
You know, so for me, and even let's say the Portugal game, it's not a game I would say they deserve to lose, but of course there are days when they shot themselves directly into the foot, you know.
That's
right?
the lack of quality.
Right here by your Achilles, so you can't even walk. You know, so yeah, but for me, Sancho, we need, Foden he is silky, he is pacey, but for those wingers, I would go for pace, you know, go for pure pace. Sancho and Sterling can give us pure pace. Then Foden can come in, pop up, they with King in the box or something. Then they can create chances like that.
You're definitely a lot more optimistic about the lineup than I am.
Well, maybe because because you know your coach, you know.
Yeah, I just don't trust Gareth Southgate to make as many changes as he needs to make.
Yeah.
I still believe that we do have a chance of winning, but I don't know. Maybe we are the France of the Euros, where we just play boring, but we get the result. That's what I'm hoping. I'm trying to look at it in the most positive way. But I don't think it's going to change much. But we have to look at Germany as well, because, you know, they're going to be the opposition. And, you know, as much as their results have been so inconsistent, some of their performances have been wonderful. You look at that Portugal game, I'm sorry to, you know, open old wounds, but you know how well they can play. They gave us sort of like their worst, but their best as well in the same, you know, in these three performances in the group stages. They can play well and play bad at the same time. So I don't know what to expect from Germany. That's the problem.
I think with Germany, it's another. That's another Portugal right there. You know, even though, you know, a couple of their old players are still playing, the integral part of that squad is now a bit young. You know, look at the front line. You know, Sane. You know, Gnabry. You know, everything. They you know, they're quite young, you know, energetic, and England, as Harvard's clearly did, he destroyed a couple of teams. You know, they're in England. They should know the qualities he should bring. As well as Gnabry, you know, when he played his good game against Chelsea as well, you know, that they should know. They should know these players.
Wow.
They should know this player quite well. But if England don't match the dynamism that Germany are trying to put into their game, it's going to be a very tough game for England.
Especially from the wingbacks.
Very from the wingbacks. You know, Gosens, that Ancelotti ball, he literally came with it versus Portugal and it killed teams. So he's, I mean, from the coach, even during practice, I'm not telling him what to do. I mean, if you're a good player, you need to know what you do best, and the day you realize it, then you go for it. You know, so that'll be then you have powerhouses in the midfield. You have Kimmich, you have Gundogan, you have Goretzka. They're not gonna come with less of a job mentality. They're just there to finish the job. I'll look at his reaction after he scored the goal against Hungary. He's not there to play, you know, like you can see that he's just here to score goals, mark the ball in the midfield, play box to box, get results and go home. So, but England, they don't look like they. How can the fans be more? It looks like fans are more passionate than the players are sometimes,
For England.
or maybe than the coaches. I don't know, but they definitely need to have a change in system, England, if they're really gonna hurt Germany.
So, but you were just expecting Germany to carry on playing 3-4-3, right?
3-4-3, it would definitely be that. I was before the tournament started, we were watching the Germany game. We saw Kimmich, you know, he's coming down the wing a lot. We're just like, is it gonna work against Portugal?
It worked.
It worked to absolute perfection. I think that header from Gosens was an assist from Kimmich.
Yes,
so
I remember.
I think they're just gonna play the same way.
But how is a guy like Thomas Muller? Because I don't know, he's gonna be doubtful this game. He missed the Hungary game with an injury as well. How big of a miss is he considering his experience? And, you know, as we were talking about Ronaldo in a couple minutes ago, how an experienced guy can just help the youngsters play even better when it comes to certain pressure situations. How are they going to miss a guy like Thomas Muller? He was also very brilliant playing his top game at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. I think in terms of missing, would I define them as missing Muller against that Hungary game? I don't think so. Because the replacements that came in, everyone came in there and did their job. You know, Cruz turned into actually a young Muller for you know, for a bit, you know, popping up on 2 passes, you know, getting shots into the box. So I have a feeling, you know, they won't really miss him much. But of course, when it now comes to the dire stages of the tournament, if they do get past England, that we hope they don't, so that we can just see a change in England's play. But, you know, I mean, He will just be happy to hold up a shirt, you know, of a team that won at the end. But just in general, I think they won't miss him much. They should play at the top level come the England game. Yeah, they should.
So I think basically that's about it when it concerns England and Germany.
That's about it.
Give me your predictions before I give you the correct score.
Oh yeah, I'm giving you predictions.
Yes,
okay.
and I give you the correct score.
For me, I will have that memory of 2010. It's still quite fresh, you know, and I don't need to have a journalist or commentator's curse or a media curse, but I'll go with a 2-1 win for Germany. Go for a 2-1 win for Germany.
I think you've got the correct score. Just the wrong way around. I think England, we have to rise above that.
You have to
rise above being cheated by the world of football. This is our moment. We've been waiting for this for 11 years.
I think VAR should be by your side. You know, should be, you know, maybe Foden can get a young, you know, dive there, you know, with VAR, we look at it with one eye, be like, that's a pen, maybe. But yeah, I'm just happy that at least, in as much as we can criticize VAR, at least we won't have drama like that happened in the 2010 World Cup where that was a clear.
You know what? I'm actually thinking it's going to be poetic justice. Phil Foden is going to score the exact same shot that Lampard did in 2010. That's the one that's going to come and go.
His watch is going to buzz. His watch is going to buzz.
Then we'll win it. That's going to be in the 89th minute.
No. I think it should be an exciting time, you know, for football. You know, everything after COVID, everything, the leagues came back. Now the Euros. Football is just exciting, you know. Before the knockout stages, you know, we have had teams giving us underdog drama, you know, like Hungary. I would want to give 100% credit to their coach, to everyone, you know, for making these interviews, you know, more fun, you know, to talk about, you know, the emotions and everything. But sadly, in Shona we say Team Ombe doesn't go. Team Ombe, so yeah, in English, you know, the lion will always be the king of the jungle. An elephant might have size, a cheetah might have speed, but the lion always have the mentality. So we now need to see if the big teams can come with the mentality to be the kings of Europe.
All right, no, that's great. So speaking of underdogs, let's give the other small matches with a lot of respect, of course, you know, just our predictions just before we wrap up. Wales and Denmark.
Wales, good run during the group stages. Denmark, they're very passionate about Christian, you know.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think they're gonna win just because of that experience.
For them, this tournament is now more of a, what can we do for our fellow teammates? Can we uplift their spirits? For some reason, Christian Eriksen is a very good player, right? So
I think he was their best player.
So is he not gonna be like, oh, my team lost because I didn't play? That might put more stress, you know, on him and stuff. So, but at the same time, I know that if Denmark play to their 100% passion mark, if I can say, they should be able. But for me,
I'm just gonna say 1-0 Denmark.
I'm gonna go for a 2-0 win for Wales.
Wow. Italy, Austria.
I'm going with Italy. Italy. I'm sorry. Anatos Richa and Alaba might have to just say this one bye-bye.
Of course.
Italy, it will be tough. You know, there's no game in this Euros that has come easy for any team. It could be even North Macedonia gave any team a run for their money. But Austria, they're gonna have a run for their money, but the buttons stick at the end.
I say 2-0.
I see. Whatever result is gonna be, Italy are gonna be.
Say something.
Immobile is gonna score 2. Locatelli 1.
3-0.
3-0.
Netherlands and Czech Republic.
Ooh, the Czech are going home. The Czech are going home.
But the Netherlands can be inconsistent at times. I don't know, but I'll still give them the result. 2-1. 2-1.
2-1, and remember the Netherlands have scored 2 and above goals in each of their
group games,
and as well as qualifying. So, you know, even that time when they were playing, or was it Germany?
Yes.
As well. Yeah, it should be a good performance. Then what's the last one? Oh.
It's not the last one. Croatia and Spain.
If the Spanish miss the way they did against 5-0,
but they missed a lot of chances.
It was a flattering scoreline, but Morata, he needs to do better. For me, he needs to do better. Pedri, Morata, Gerard Moreno.
Yes,
they need to finish. They need to finish if it's gonna be. And we know Croatia. Every game they've played, they are not your brightest, but they know how to take moments. Perisic, Modric, given a chance, they're gonna score. We know, outside of the foot.
Yes.
Perisic, cut in, right foot, left foot. You know, they will destroy you. They will definitely.
So I say 1-0 Croatia.
And if Rebic finds those shooting boots he had at Milan in this game, oh,
I'm saying 1-0 Croatia.
I'll go for 2-1 for Spain.
Okay,
great for Spain.
The second last game now.
Second last game.
France and Switzerland.
Switzerland are going home.
They've been so poor, eh?
Switzerland are going home.
I think they only beat Turkey because Turkey were poorer than them.
Turkey was just poor the whole tournament.
Yeah.
They lost to every single team.
Every single team. Yeah, I'm going for a win for France. 2-0. Because France didn't score a lot of goals, so I'll just say 2-0.
2-0. And I have to be very honest. It's not going to be easy playing teams that were in that France, you know, Germany, Portugal group.
Because those are top teams.
Those are top teams, and also the way they progressed. They're going to know that, okay, they survived, but they will have encouragement of, we almost lost, but as a big team, we were there, but now we're here, so we need to, we need to uplift it. So I think France against Switzerland,
Switzerland are going home.
I love Mbolo, I love to see him how he shows the ball and everything and stuff, Shaqiri, but
they're going home. Don't feel sorry for them, they're going home.
Yeah. But I like an underdog, I always like an underdog.
Of course, everyone does.
But
Sweden and Ukraine.
Ukraine are going home.
Yeah, same, yeah.
Ukraine are going home. I'll look at that performance against Poland. Sweden against Poland, Forsberg. Ooh.
He was on fire. He was on fire.
If he takes that form into the round of 16,
yes,
Ukraine are going home.
And maybe gets a little bit more help from that kid. What's his name? Isak. Isak looks talented. If he can just bring more to the table as well, they're gonna beat Ukraine.
I like the lad. So yeah, I think ultimately that's about it really.
Yeah.
But I do have to say we did call these other games underdogs, but in terms of a watch, good watch, I would advise everyone to have a watch for it, and it should be an interesting
game.
It should be interesting games. I think all of them should bring in some form of drama, and I don't know why I have this mentality, but I always like to watch like a fun game. I wouldn't mind if there are fluctuation of emotions, between the Belgium-Portugal game or the Germany-England. But at the end of the day, I hope my predictions will settle in. Yeah. If I miss, I'll rewind this clip and remind myself.
If England win versus Germany, we need to get a clip of you kissing the emblem with the the 3 lions.
The 3 lions.
Yes.
Nah, I will. I'll definitely do that.
Okay, yeah, so that's great. That was it for episode of the Lead In. We've got more episodes coming, when we get to the quarters and the semis. So just subscribe and click that notification bell so that you get updates for all the new content that's going to be coming from this channel. And it's a lot better that we have this guy now, so I can be beating him, and I have someone to beat.
Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Chris again.
I'm Tinashe.
Our host. thank you very much for having me on the show as always. Then now we'll meet again in the next episode for the quarterfinals.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Thank you for watching TK Sports. For more awesome content from this channel, please subscribe. And also, engage with us on our social media platforms down in the description below.